Not being able to endure any longer, I unleashed my power with sudden force. In that moment, I felt Blair's overwhelming presence take control, consuming me entirely, as I had earlier requested of her. I instantly released a high-pitched scream that echoed through the room. Its intensity was so powerful that the windows of his office shattered completely, sending the broken pieces of glass flying. Fortunately, the debris struck Mr. White to the ground, and I didn't need a soothsayer to alert me before running for my dear life. I ran as fast as my legs could take me, with my heart beating like a drum of panic in my chest. The adrenaline rush that I felt as I kept glancing back at intervals to make sure that I wasn't being pursued was unexplainable. I had no idea where my powers came from, but I was grateful for them because they had saved me in a near-death situation. Mr. White could have easily violated my most intimate boundaries and properly killed me, so I wouldn't report his filthy actions to the higher authorities. Scratch that. Nobody would have paid heed to my plea, especially since my name was still attached to Zachary. I bolted past the academy gates, not caring to catch my breath despite being so exhausted from the race. I made sure that I was a mile away before I finally halted to take a deep breath. My hands were trembling, and the rate of my heartbeat didn't stop so easily. That heightened my fear, as there was no lake around to quench my thirst. The fact that I was hungry a few minutes ago but still had the energy to be this quick was something out of the ordinary. I fell to the ground, breathing hard along the side of the road, hoping for a good Samaritan to come my way, or else I might turn into a full-time rogue as I had left with no money or phone to contact anybody. My concern immediately shifted to Blair, as she had been silent since asking, "Are you okay? Please tell me who you are. I can't afford to lose you now." My attempt to contact her was futile. It seemed like she had ceased to exist. "I'm fucked," I cried out in frustration. Several times fate played cruel games on me, and I kept losing. Not for once have I been given the opportunity to score a point, and it appeared that it wasn't going to end anytime soon. Without my wolf, I wouldn't be able to navigate around the area, and there was no way that I was returning to that hell house alone because I would be eating roasted meat for dinner. Uneasiness gripped me further as it dawned on me that I was on my own without the guidance and protection of my best friend and the goddess. So many bad things could happen from here. I could be kidnapped in my sleep, attacked by a cursed lichen, or shot by a hunter. It was as if I was reliving a nightmare. As my eyes were glossy with tears, I wrapped myself up by hugging my knees to my chest. I had never felt more vulnerable up until now, and I couldn't stop my vision from getting blurred. This was all too much to bear, and I swear that if I had to go through one of these battles again, I would end it all. Maybe I would finally find peace on the other side, because life was so hard for an orphaned Omega who has been rejected because of the assholes present in my life. Leia, this is all my fault. I shouldn't have drained you of your powers. We should have taken a different route to this. Now you're unreachable, and I have no idea when you will be back. I voiced it out with a little hope that she would answer. Just as my spirit was crushed and I was lost in my helplessness, an unfamiliar car pulled up beside me. My first instinct was to take off again because everybody seemed to have bad intentions towards me, and there was no wolf instinct to discern who was good or not. This belief rushed through my veins as Tristan stepped out of the car. I rubbed my eyes to confirm that it wasn't my mind playing games with me. I couldn't move from the spot, despite the glimmer of relief. First, he had saved me from the vampire on the roof, and now this? It was unexpected, as I had never imagined that he would come to my rescue. My hand clenched my blouse to control my racing heart, while the other covered my mouth as I gasped in shock. He spread his hands apart, and without a second's hesitation, I threw myself into his arms and held on tightly. "You're really here, Tristan," I muttered under my breath as he wrapped his arms around me and gently patted my back. "Thank goodness you're safe." For once I had been grateful for his presence. Nathan emerged from the car as well, causing my heart to skip a beat as he was the only person that I had thought about when I was in my state of dilemma. With slow paces, he approached us and pulled me into a bear hug that made me feel so secure that I didn't want him to break it. He kissed my head and played with my hair, saying, "Nathan is here for you, babe. You don't have to worry about a thing any longer." I knew how honest his words could be, so there was no doubt in my heart. I nodded my head in response, and he brought a clean handkerchief to wipe my tears. "Despite being a mess, you still managed to be a hot one." He teased me, making me laugh amidst tears. "Now there's that pretty smile of yours," he asserted. From the corner of my eye, I spotted a figure exiting the car last. All color drained from my face when my eyes landed on him, and it seemed like time had paused for our sake. Why did he come along with them? I didn't think that I still mattered to him, or he probably tagged along to get a few forgotten items from the dormitory. A part of me still yearned to seek solace in his arms because of the few cherishable moments that we had spent together. The memories of being kicked out of his pack held me back from showing that I still cared about us. The wounds were still fresh, and I couldn't bear the idea of going through the pain again. My heart was caught between wanting to reach out and being afraid of getting damaged once more, so I paused. My desire for his embrace was dampened by his past actions hanging over me. I sighed and decided to keep my distance in order to protect myself from any disappointment because I knew that no matter what, I would still remain a member of a pack that snatched his happiness forever. Maybe if I chose self-respect over my emotions, Blair might actually come back for good. Noticing the intense exchange of eye contact between Harold and I, Nathan snaked his hands around my waist, pulling me closer to him. "How about I take you home?" I instantly backed away and refused with fear in my voice, saying, "No, I can't go back there. Take me to your pack instead." He extended his hand to cup my face with a reassuring smile and said, "Like I promised before, you're safe with me. Don't you trust me anymore?" He wouldn't play with my life. But Mr. White's abilities couldn't be taken for granted. It was only the strength bestowed upon me by the goddess that saved me. "I do. Good girl," he said, taking my hand and leading me to the car before opening the passenger door for me like a gentleman, which he had never been before. The others sat at the back while he dove in silence until I raised a question that had been bugging my mind. "How did you find me?" It was a general inquiry for anyone to answer. Nathan glanced at me before confessing with a hint of seriousness. "This might sound crazy, but we had a dream." "A dream?" I repeated myself as I waited for more explanation. "Yes, he's right. In the dream, we saw a monster trying to harm you. As soon as I woke up, I informed him about it and he opened up about experiencing the same thing. Our final call was directed to Harold, who confirmed it. His voice carried an air of conviction. As I attempted to make sense of the revelation that they had uttered, a shiver went down my spine and I felt hot, even with the air conditioner put on. It was as though some unseen power had led them and warned them of the threat that hung over me. Was it a hunch of some kind? I asked, speaking just above a whisper, as if I were frightened to sever the tenuous thread that bound our fates. With a tightened grip on the steering wheel, Nathan nodded. "We think so." His eyes were still fixed on the road ahead, and he said, "It felt too vivid, too genuine, to be a simple coincidence. We just couldn't ignore it." I relaxed against the seat and thought about the enigmatic ways that fate operates. "I nearly lost my mind because of you, Lexi. We looked everywhere for you, even to the academy, but we only saw Mr. White with the principal." Tristan finished off his statement for him. "When they told us that you had run away, I became worried sick. I was shocked to learn that my absence had caused so much turmoil. I said, 'I'm sorry,' in a low, regretful voice. I didn't intend to give you guys any form of worry." Nathan gave me a quick glance, his eyes growing sympathetic. He gave me comfort by saying, "We only wanted to make sure you were safe. The idea of anything happening to you was too painful for us to endure. I mean, who's going to do the laundry and my assignments if something happens to you? Definitely not those chicks that I got rid of, for your sake." He just had to flirt. I rolled my eyes before confusion whirled through me and I just had to make an inquiry with a straight face. But why was Mr. White with the principal though? He couldn't have recovered from that blast so quickly. Apparently there were shattered glasses in his office, and the principal questioned him about it. Nathan answered, and Tristan continued. He claimed that he was responsible for it by leaking his power. Yeah, the principal believed him and instantly threw a promotion opportunity at him, considering that werewolves with such powers are rare to find. Nathan concluded. I immediately went into a state of numbness as shock waves rushed through my body. I couldn't even comprehend the audacity of his actions. It was one thing to violate my most intimate boundaries, and it was entirely another to take credit for my powers. How dare he? Why was I even surprised? He was an associate of Zachary after all, and the people who knew them very well could attest to their ability to stoop so low to get whatever they wanted. I silently made a vow to myself that I wouldn't let him get away with this. My days of being walked over had finally come to an end. and I would deal with anyone that crossed my path, with or without my newfound powers. As soon as we got back to the academy, they questioned me about the details of what transpired in their absence. If I may ask, what's your relationship with Mr. White? I could sense the contempt in his tone when we inquired about your whereabouts. Tristan settled on my bed while waiting for my response. Taking a deep breath to reveal the history that we once shared, I said, "Well, it's actually a long story. I have all the time in the world for you, so I'm all ears." Nathan urged me to speak. Mr. White and I are both part of the same pack. I began to share my ordeal with them, my voice threatening to break as a lump formed in my throat. He was a highly skilled warrior that was respected by many packs and alphas. His strength and bravery caught the interest of King Zach, and he became the king's favorite confidant. I added before my mind got lost in a distant memory. As soon as I came into the picture as Zach's mate, there became a rift in their friendship. All of his attention and time suddenly shifted towards me, but Mr. White never understood that it wasn't intentional. I continued with a sad tone in my voice. I noticed the way his mood already seemed to change whenever I came around, and for that particular reason, I had to stay away from Zach under the excuse of allowing him to focus on his duties as the Alpha King, but he only became more clingy. I could vividly remember what a sweet person he used to be. Those times where he would call me after not hearing from me for a whole day, or the time where he rented out the entire cinema so we could have a nice romantic evening to ourselves. His hatred for him grew with each passing day, and I feared he would manipulate the king to end our relationship. That was even more of an issue because he might be responsible for Zach's repulsive behavior toward my sister. Although the advice he always rendered to the king was concerning the kingdom's business and not personal issues, I was under the impression that my absence from Zach's life would give him a bit of ease, but he was still obsessed with getting rid of me permanently. I narrated the rest of my story as they paid close attention to my words, their faces slowly scrunching up in annoyance. Nathan's eyes blazed with fury, his brows furrowed, and his jaw clenched tightly. "What the actual fuck?" he exclaimed, his voice laced with anger as he shot up from his seat. Tristan reacted swiftly, grabbing Nathan's arm and pulling him back down, his expression holding concern. He turned his gaze toward me and spoke with a calm tone. "Let me get this straight, Lexi. The same person who resented you badly wanted to claim you against your will." Tristan's voice dripped with disdain, his fists tightening at his sides. "He can't go unpunished. He must pay for laying his filthy hands on you." Harold's normal calm demeanor strained. "That bastard. I am sure that he has attempted such with not just Alexia. He must have had countless trysts with some shameless she-wolves in the academy." His forehead bulged with veins to show his brewing rage. His point wasn't entirely wrong because he was notorious for having countless flings and creating numerous rivalries between she-wolves in our pack. If we let him get away with such foul behavior, he would come again for her, he added. There seemed to be a question that burned from within, and Nathan asked with no hesitation, was this the reason for his energy burst? "Yeah, it must be since she didn't give in to his depraved desires," Tristan answered on my behalf, which confused me further as to what they were talking about. What outburst? They stared at me like I had lost my mind, and Tristan smacked his forehead and said, "This isn't the time to act slowly, Lexi. We're talking about the broken glasses." A mouth formed a perfect O of realization, and I mustered the courage to respond. "That wasn't him. I was responsible for it. It was the only way that I saved myself." Nathan and Tristan exchanged puzzled glances. Their eyes locked for a brief moment before a shared burst of mocking laughter erupted from their lips, fueled by disbelief. "Yeah, right. What are you doing now? A blessed Omega or what?" Nathan sneered, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Only Alpha's daughters and maybe descendants of the goddess can have such powers. You don't fit into the category, so stop being delusional because it won't help you in any way." Nathan spat out. My face flushed with frustration, and I questioned sharply, "Why is it so hard for you to believe? I'm not a liar like the three of you." I gave Harold, who had been acting invisible, the side-eye. "You? Destroying the glasses in the office?" Tristan chuckled. "Come on, this is bulletproof glass that we are talking about here." "That's quite a stretch, don't you think, Lexi?" Nathan chimed in. "I'm telling you the truth. I have no reason to be dishonest. In a moment of rage, I lost control of my powers and screamed at the top of my lungs, which caused the damage. I restated. This had happened before, and I couldn't understand why they acted like I wasn't capable of doing so. Tristan's arms folded across his chest, his eyes boring into mine. Hoping to elicit a confession, he gave me a blank stare that seemed to penetrate my soul. You're actually blaming yourself for something you didn't do? His voice carried a note of doubt. My frustration boiled within me, and I leaned forward, my voice sharp and tinged with hurt. Why would you believe a random jerk more than me? The words escaped my lips with an edge of annoyance, my eyebrows creasing and my fists clenching at my sides. Where's the trust? Tristan's expression softened, and he cleared his throat to speak. It's not like we don't trust you. It just makes more sense if he did it. After all, he is a warrior and has enough energy for that single act. But we have never seen you display such abilities despite being your roommates. Nathan nodded his head in agreement, saying, Tristan is absolutely right. We want to believe you, but we just can't. I should probably take her for a medical checkup because this could be early signs of. He didn't get the chance to finish his statement as Harold stepped forward. He's not exhibiting any signs. If she says she did, then I believe her. Turning to face Harold, who had been silent up until this point, a flash of surprise crossed my face. His gaze met mine. His expression was impossible to discern. I held my breath, waiting for his response, desperate to know the reason for his unexpected reaction. You do? I finally got the words out, my voice holding hope. It caught me off balance and left me dumbfounded by Harold's sudden attention after weeks of ignoring me. It was as if he was finally affected by the distance which I created between us. No, I really didn't believe that he would ever be remorseful, considering that he cared about nobody other than himself. With his face still void of emotions, he approached me and requested, Alexia, can I talk to you for a second? Outside, he added. I was curious to know what he had to say about us, and it made me more apprehensive. I decided to follow him to a secluded corner in the academy, away from the prying eyes of Tristan and Nathan, who couldn't stop grumbling about me spending time with him. Their whispers only added more tension in the air as we walked away from them. Trust that my heart skidded with nervousness as we stood facing each other. I patiently waited for him to speak first before I would vent. Alexia, he began, I actually owe you an apology. I have been cold to you when you never deserved it. My recent behavior towards you was never as a result of anything you did. I shouldn't have placed you in a confusing position to think that you were ever the problem. A hint of sincerity and regret followed, and I wanted to believe that my ears were failing me because there was no way in this life or the next that he would ever be like this. I'm never going to stop admitting to the fact that I have been a total jerk, and I don't blame you for leaving. I would have done the same a long time ago if I were in your shoes, he added. Wow, so he knew that it wasn't an easy task to keep with his bullshit, yet he continued. His eyes locked with mine as he continued. I know you're innocent. You never had a hand in my parents' death €. I cut him off instantly as my heart dropped. Harold, my heart was completely shattered when you kicked me out of your pack. I had been looking forward to spending the rest of the vacation with you, but I had no idea that there was already trouble awaiting my arrival. My voice broke as tears shimmered in my eyes. And you just stood there like your hands were tied and you had no idea of the mate bond we shared. You know, these past couple of weeks that we have been together made me realize that this game of yours is never going to make me be that girl which you cherished, and I think I have accepted that. I should have let you reject me that day, I added. He reached out and attempted to wipe the tears off my face, but I retreated. Please don't come any closer. You have hurt me enough already. I couldn't keep running from him, and I wouldn't be able to move out either. We could either work this relationship out for our good or end it. Only time would tell when I would heal. Regardless of what I told him, he still drew nearer and gently touched my face. I know that I don't deserve your forgiveness or a second chance, Alexia, but the misconception made me so helpless. He spoke softly. I really wish that things would be different between us because I sincerely couldn't continue like this. I know you did everything out of concern and love for me, and I actually appreciate that, but the deep grudge which they hold against yours can't be resolved overnight, no matter how much I wished it could, he stated. Your unexpected visit on that day didn't help the situation either. I really didn't like the way my beta spoke to you, but I understood her annoyance. If you stayed any longer in my pack, a riot would have started for you to be killed. Whatever actions I took were for your protection, he confessed. Did you ever wonder why I never replied to any of your messages? That's because I wanted you to stay away. I really didn't want you to get hurt, he added. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Keeping in the dark didn't help any of us because I was worried sick about you. You made me feel like I was doing too much in all of this. I cried out in anguish. Sometimes I act like I don't care about you, but I actually do. I just have a hard way of expressing it. I'm not used to this, Lexi. Nobody has actually cared for me since the death of my parents. That explained why his home felt so abandoned. I understood his reasoning, but it was so frustrating that we had to be caught up in the pack's feud. I hate that this is happening as much as you do. Looking through his eyes, I could see the battle from within his soul. The desire to be with me conflicted with the loyalty of being the alpha to his pack, but I just had one question to ask him. Harold, I called his name in a low tone. Do you think your pack would ever accept me? Even if I prove to them that I'm different from the rest of the members of mine? Before he answered, his fingers delicately brushed through my hair, tucking a stray strand behind my ears, and his alluring gray orbs pierced into mine. The subtle touch sent a tingle down my spine, and a spark which I hated ignited within me. He still has control over your body, huh? Blair chimed in, and I could imagine the mischievous grin on her face. I'm willing to do everything within my power to convince them. You would do that for me? Risk everything? I asked with a small smile playing on my lips. Without taking a second to consider my question, yes, Lexi, I would risk it all for you, he responded. You are my mate, and nothing is ever going to change that fact, he admitted. Playing the game used to be my thing, but I am not interested in that anymore. You have shown me severally that you're worth fighting for, and I just want to be with you. Pulling away from him, I rolled my eyes and sighed. You said that the last time and you got worse. He held my hand tightly and said, my feelings haven't changed since then. I was just in a tight spot of confusion. I'm totally crazy about you, Lexi. I had sleepless nights just by the thoughts of you sharing a bed with Nathan and Tristan. I missed you so much, but I couldn't even reach out to you, he added. My heart burns for you, he spoke, his voice hoarse of desire. My heart swelled up with love as his words sank in, and I couldn't even contain the excitement that flooded me. So, can I still call you mine? He lifted up my chin, and his eyes held longing, pleading for my affirmation. Yes, you can. I threw my arms around him, feeling as if I was floating on a cloud of pure bliss. Wrapping his hands around my waist, he leaned in close, his minty breath fanning my ear. I love you, babe, he whispered. I love you too. I finally got my man back, and to me, it was the biggest win ever. After our little moment of love ended, we returned to the dormitory, hand in hand, and I didn't care how the others would react to it. The next day came by quickly, and I went to the cafeteria with Nathan and Tristan by my side. Previous night was the best for me because I couldn't stop making fake scenarios in my head about Harold and I. If I had one wish, it would be for us to last forever. Yes, I was that delusional, and I accepted it despite my wolf not being in support of our love. She would learn to give up on Nathan and move into Harold's team. After grabbing our breakfast, we found a table and settled down. I couldn't help but sing along to the music which I listened to. It had so much memories of Harold that I would surely delete it from my playlist if we ever fall apart again. I hope you both do because you're not compatible, Blair remarked with bitterness. And how would you know that? He is the one I want, and I stand on that till the day I die, I stated. Wrapped around his huge finger, I see. May the goddess save you, because Nathan will always be my first option, not the award-winning jerk of the decade, she retorted. Good thing it is not the century. Whatever. Nathan removed my AirPods from my ears and said, We saw you both holding last night like happy lover birds. Or do you want to pretend like that never happened? Arching my brow. And why would I do that? I returned his question with a flat tone. Are you both monitoring my every move now? Tristan's face scrunched up, and he expressed his opinion. I really didn't expect that you would forgive him so easily after what he has put you through. You should have made him suffer at least. Yeah, but I guess she is too weak to do that, Nathan chimed in. He doesn't deserve your good heart, Lexi. Not after he locked you up on the rooftop during the sandstorm. What? The silence that followed was piercing, as I stared in disbelief, hoping that he would break it with an explanation. The only sound that filled the air was the awkward slurping from his juice, making it clear that he wouldn't repeat himself. My mind still struggled to process the shocking accusation which Tristan made, knowing that Harold would never have such a secret motive towards me. Maybe my trust in him was blocking my reasoning, but I had to question Tristan thoroughly before confronting Harold, or else our relationship might hit square one again. Tristan, are you sure of what you are saying? You know you can't go around making such accusations against an innocent being. I narrowed my gaze as I chose to give him the benefit of doubt. With a straight face which seemed a bit offended, he met my eyes and retorted, "Do I look like some gossip girl that throws muds on a person's image? I wouldn't say something that I'm not sure of. I witnessed everything." His explanation wasn't convincing enough, and I knew he would become infuriated with my persistence, but I believed it was necessary to ask more questions. "Lexi, if roles were reversed and Harold informed you about this, won't you believe him without a second thought?" Nathan hit me with a question that made my brain stop. I hesitated for a bit before stuttering, "Haha, Harold has never been the type to tell lies, unlike Tristan, who has always been known for his mischief." They exchanged glances and smirked simultaneously, as if to silently communicate, "We've officially lost her. Is your brain still functioning? Or did he bang your head against the wall during your time together last night, causing memory loss?" I frowned at Nathan's offensive questions, which he didn't care to stop. "Because I can easily refresh your memory on the 1,000 times that Harold has lied to you with a straight face. What the hell is wrong with you, Lexi? Why was he trying to force the truth down my throat? I wasn't going to believe anything until I asked Harold. But waste your breath, man. We all know how she can get when Harold is involved." Tristan remarked in a flat tone, which I had to correct. "This has nothing." He instantly shunned me and pointed his finger behind me. "He's on his way to the table. Why don't you continue your investigation and leave us out of it?" "Sure," I replied through gritted teeth as the tension grew thicker. All I wanted was his sincerity, which I was certain he would give. It seemed like a coincidence that he happened to approach us while he was the center of our discussion. His expression was simply innocent, as he was unaware of the bombshell which had been unleashed by the others. As he took a seat next to me, my heart started drumming hard against my chest as I thought about the right words to say. Finally, summoning courage for the confrontation, I turned to face him and asked, "Harold, do you remember the day of the hurricane? Did you happen to see my blanket?" I went straight to the point because there was no time on my plate to beat around the bush. He paused for a moment as he tried to remember before admitting, "Yes, I did." His confirmation made my heart sink as it clashed with Tristan's allegations. It didn't take long before doubt started to seep into my mind, heightening my trust issues. Sparing a glance at Tristan, who had that unmistakable look on his face which seemed to say, "I told you so," I returned my attention to Harold to press on the issue. I needed to hear his own side of the story for more clarity. "Harold, did you lock me on the rooftop that day? Please, tell me the truth." Momentary silence descended upon us as everyone waited for his response, or rather, his flawless lie. Breaking the silence, Tristan let out an awkward cough as he uncomfortably diverted his gaze to another angle, while Nathan, who was caught off guard by the boldness in my tone, choked on his juice. Tristan handed him a glass filled with water while gently patting his back. I caught a glimpse of Tristan stifling a laugh, which made me question whether I had once again fallen for his silly pranks. Harold's expression shifted in an instant, transitioning from surprise to hurt and ultimately settling on annoyance. "You have got to be kidding. Locking you on the rooftop? That's ridiculous," he retorted. His denial seemed too sudden, as if he had already rehearsed beforehand. It only increased my suspicion, and I spoke up. "Harold, I find it hard to believe that you had no part in what happened that day. Look, Alexia, I did see your blanket on the floor, but then Tristan appeared out of nowhere and grabbed it, claiming that you were in the basement and everything was fine." He paused, taking a deep breath to compose himself. "By the time I got there, I saw you all curled up in his arms, and I chose to walk away." So that was where his attitude started from. Staring back at Tristan while searching for any hint of guilt in his eyes, I interrogated, "And you, Tristan, is this true, or you don't have the balls to speak up?" Before he could answer, Harold voiced out as his frustration mixed with anger boiled over. "Fuck this. I can't believe that you don't trust me, Alexia. If there was anybody whom I thought would have doubt, I never expected you to be on that list. This is bullshit. Who is Tristan to you now? A detective? Pathetic! He sprung up from his feet. In a sudden fit of rage, he grabbed the smoothie bowl which he had bought earlier and hurled it across the room. It shattered against the wall, and the colorful contents dripped down. Without saying a word to any of us, he stormed out of the canteen, and I knew that I had pushed too far with it. Well, that escalated so fast, Tristan asserted. You should go, get your man, sis, before he runs into the arms of his main girlfriend, which will never be you. Nathan mocked me, and they burst into laughter. Regret flooded my heart as the reality that I fell for their tricks hit me like a brick. You both are jerks. I splashed a cup of water on their faces before running out of the room, knowing what Nathan was capable of doing. My feet carried me in a hot pursuit of Harold after getting him a new smoothie bowl with the intention of making amends. After searching everywhere for him, I spotted him standing on the bridge and bolted off before he would leave, approaching him with caution and my heart in my throat. "Harold," I called out. He didn't spare me a glance, but his side profile left me breathless. "What do you want? Shouldn't you be with your favorite since you're so gullible? I messed up big time, Harold. I'm truly sorry. Just give me another chance to make things right," I pleaded. "It was a terrible mistake which I wished never happened." "And how do you intend on making it up to me?" I brought the bowl from behind and handed it to him. "This is my little way of showing you how sorry I am, but I'm going to do more to win your trust. Please accept this peace offering." He stared down at my hand and his expression softened up, which gave me relief. "You're lucky that I love you, and you were smart enough to get me my favorite flavor." "Thank you." As his hand reached out to accept the bowl, a gentle tug pulled me forward, causing me to collide softly against his chest. "I guess I'll forgive you, baby girl," he said with a tender voice while smirking playfully. "Not because you've somehow managed to melt this hardened heart of mine, though. I just can't stay mad at you for long. Neither can I resist that damn charm of yours whenever you give me those pretty puppy dog eyes. It seems like you unlocked a new power because it's driving me crazy." Blushing over his sweet words, he inched closer to me. He stole my breath as his lips met mine, soft at first, then a deep tangled embrace, a slow burn that seeped into every corner of me. A quiet sigh escaped me as his hands traced the curve of my back, leaving a trail of warm, thrumming energy in their wake. I was lost in the sweet, heady pull of him, unable to get enough. I could feel a low, coiling tension building deep within me, a quiet current he seemed to sense instantly as he pulled away, his gaze dark with unspoken want. We could either stop or get a room to continue. Knowing that those two would do everything to disrupt our intense session, I settled for the former, which he understood. He stayed back at the bridge while engaging in a heartfelt conversation. If there was one thing I enjoyed, it was spending time with him, and I couldn't wait to see him display the other 4 love languages to me. Scenarios that I always painted in my head before going to bed seemed impossible to slip into reality. Every word that escaped his lips seemed to slip through my mind, lost in the distraction of accessing his features. His voice, his gaze, his everything about him made it hard to focus on anything else. It wasn't until he waved his hand in front of me that I snapped back into reality and asked, "What have you been thinking about?" "You." That escaped too easily with a gasp as I covered my mouth in shock. He smirked at my response, holding his head high and asking, "Who wouldn't?" I rolled my eyes over his playful nature before his eyes sparkled with a glimmer of curiosity. "You know, babe," he said, his voice having a teasing tone, "about your powers, I actually read a book and it mentioned your kind," he added, and I listened attentively, waiting for the rest of it. "Fill me in," I replied innocently. My eyes locked on his face. It took his dilated pupils and the widening of his smirk for me to grasp the other meaning of the words I had uttered. Leaning forward, his breath tickling my ear, he whispered, "Do you really want that?" He teased, his voice low and sultry. His seductive allure enveloped me, sending a shiver down my spine. My fingers trembled, struggling to maintain a steady grip on the hem of my blouse. I bit my lip, trying to contain the hitched breath that threatened to betray my desire. I decided to play coy, feigning oblivion to his questions. Biting my lip, I batted my lashes and asked, "Want what?" He eyed me down and licked his lips. "My warm jade stalk," he murmured, "to fill you in." I placed my hand on his chest and moved back, saying, "Harold, focus for a moment. You were about to tell me something important." I interrupted, trying to steer the conversation back on track. We were at the wrong place for this, but he didn't seem to care. "It can wait, and you know I can't stay focused with you around. Harold, let's get back to the topic." I repeated it with a straight face, and he sighed, stepping away from me. He ran his hand through his hair before continuing. "The book says such people are actually special werewolves, rare to find." His voice went low as if to lay emphasis while meeting my eyes. "Also, they are generally not born to ordinary werewolf parents," he added in conclusion. The revelation made me pause, trying to process everything. Memories of my biological parents were scarce, as they had perished when I was only 6 years old. "That's strange," I voiced my thoughts aloud. Nodding in agreement, he replied, "Very, but hey, now I know that my girl is one of a kind. I can't let the others have you." His eyes darkened as if claiming his territory. I could have easily asked him the reason for his delay in marking me since we had already made up, but I wouldn't want to repeat myself for the umpteenth time. That was begging, which I won't be caught doing if we ever break up again. "They won't believe it if you tell them." I reminded him of the way they both reacted to the truth. Their loss. He raised a suggestion. "I think you should go back to your pack to find out more about your birth. It would clear the air on several things, you know." Zachary instantly flashed through my mind, and I brushed the thoughts out of my head in a split second. The life I wanted in my head was yet to begin, and I couldn't afford to bump into my former mate. He wouldn't let me go without ruining my day completely. "No." He arched his brow in confusion and concern. "Why?" It was a complete statement that needed no further explanation. "All right, I was exaggerating just a little. He will be there." "That shouldn't bother you, babe." "It does, and you won't understand. I can do everything else aside from that," I maintained. "How about the pack's archive?" he inquired, hoping to give him a positive response, which I did. "Yes, that could work. We will look for the files that will provide meaningful answers about your parents," he stated. "With the help of your powers, we would be able to unlock the doors," he added, waiting for an agreement from my end. Behind those giant doors, the secrets of my past were guarded by the trusted members of the pack, whom I would have to outsmart. Leaving with Harold based on the history that he shared with them wasn't really a good idea, but he had given me the assurance that everything was fine. Taking in a deep breath and letting the weight of my decision settle within, I said, "All right then. We'll go," I affirmed. A smile displayed at the corner of his lips as he gently squeezed my hand before leading me to the garage where his car was parked. As we drove out of the premises, I wondered if Nathan and Tristan had suspected our movements and followed us. This wasn't the time to move with the crowd because the members were too clever. Since I was familiar with the surroundings, we gained access into the pack's territory, and we finally arrived at the doors of the archive. As I observed the large locks, doubt seeped into my thoughts. I strained to summon my powers, but fatigue washed over me. He noticed and softly touched my shoulders, urging, "You got this, babe?" Shaking it off, I pressed my trembling hands against the locks, but it drained my powers as my breathing grew labored and my vision slowly began to blur. Refusing to back down so easily, I mustered every ounce of energy within me until I couldn't fight it any longer. My legs gave way, and my muscles ached. I collapsed to the ground as darkness closed in, allowing weariness to take control.